All right, guys, welcome back to Seneca's Moral Letters to Lucilius. We are on letter 60 today, and this one is a fairly short one here. Let's go ahead and jump to it here as I try to do this on the fly. All right, that wasn't too bad. All right, here we go. Okay, so letter 60 is on harmful prayers. In verse 1, he says, I file a complaint. I enter a suit. I am angry. Do you still desire what you nurse, your guardian or your mother? Have you prayed for on your behalf? Do you not yet understand what evil they prayed for? Alas, how hostile to us are the wishes of our own folk. And they are all the more hostile in proportion as they are more completely fulfilled. It is no surprise to me at my age that nothing but evil attends us from our early youth, for we have grown up amid the curses invoked by our parents, and may the gods give ear to our cry also uttered in our own behalf, which asks no favors. Okay, so what he's talking about here is, I mean, he's basically making this case against his parents, okay? And he's saying that, I'm angry. I have a reason to be angry, right? And he's saying, do you still desire what your nurse, your guardian, or your mother have prayed for in your behalf? All right. Now, what is this? Like, think about this. What are the things that your parents, that the guardians that you've had growing up have prayed for you? Okay, they are things like to make a lot of money, to be successful, right? To get a prestigious, high status position. Basically, they're all of the things of the world of fortune that you don't really want as a Stoic, in the sense that those are not the things that are valuable, right? And so what he's saying here is he's saying, don't you get the evil that they prayed for, right? How hostile are the wishes of our own folk, right? And so he's saying in this passage here that he's saying nothing but evil attends us from an early youth. And if you think about this, we have grown up this way, right? Society gears us towards all of the wrong things, right? Like all of the things that we are told that are good and that we want and from society, those are the things that are actually bad for us in life, right? If you watch any kind of advertisements, you can see that is the case. So in verse 2, he says, how long shall we go on making demands upon the gods, as if we were still unable to support ourselves? How long shall we continue to fill with grain the marketplaces of our great cities? How long must the people gather it in for us? How long shall many ships convey their requisites for a single meal, bringing them from no single sea? The bull is filled when he feeds over a few acres, and one forest is large enough for a herd of elephants. Man, however, draws sustenance both from the earth and from the sea. Right. So again, he's just talking about the complex nature of our desires and what we want. He's talking about the idea that we can't even just have a meal from one place. We got to get, some fish from the sea, some potatoes from the earth, some salt from these salt mines, some seasoning from here, and we just need that for a meal, right? Yeah. So going back to the natural idea of stoicism, of nature, like these things, we don't need all these things, right? He's saying, how long should we go on to making demands upon the gods, as if we were still unable to support ourselves? What little do we actually need? It's not very much, okay? But we are making these demands. We want all these other things, and that is the road to disappointment. In verse 3, he says, what then? Did nature give us bellies so insatiable when she gave us these puny bodies that we should outdo the hugest and most voracious animals in greed? Not at all. How small is the amount which will satisfy nature? A very little will send her away contented. It is not the natural hunger of our bellies that costs us dear, but our solicitous cravings. So again, he's saying it's very simple what we need, right? And I was thinking about this this last week as I was just having a good time just with simple stuff, and I was like, do I really want to work and do this stuff? And I was thinking about how simple it is. Like, it doesn't take much. I can, in fact, all of these luxuries that I have that are not even much at all. Right? Just simple stuff like some video games and some basic stuff. That's all that, I mean, that's beyond what I even needed. and that doesn't cost anything once you have those things. It's like, it's all the other stuff that you're trying to acquire that it's what puts you into slavery, right? It's what puts you into slavery, right? The reason why you're in slavery right now, the reason why you have to work and you have to go and do all this stuff is because you have such an appetite for these desires, for these things that you don't actually need. Is it really going to fulfill your life that much? We're always chasing that goal, that dream, and instead of just living our lives and enjoying what we have, right? It's very simple. He says here in verse 4, therefore, those who are Sallust puts it, hearken to their bellies, should be numbered among the animals and not among men. And certain men indeed should be numbered, not even among the animals, but among the dead. He really lives who is made use of by many. He really lives who makes use of himself. Those men, however, who creep into a hole and grow torpid are no better off in their homes than if they were in their tombs. Right there on the marble lintel of the house of such a man you may inscribe his name, for he has died before he is dead. Farewell. So let's break this last part down because this one's a little bit more complicated here. So he says, therefore, those who are Sallust puts it. Now, I don't know what the Sallust part here is. There is a footnote here that says Catiline, which again, it's got the one there. So I don't think it's referring to verse 1, but let's kind of move on here. Actually, we could look up the Sallust or Catiline. I don't know if we're going to see much here, but Sallust, a monograph on the war against Jugurth and Numidia. Let's look up the Catiline part because that could be somewhat useful as well. Catiline. Yeah, it's not really known as English as Catiline, was a Roman politician, soldier. Okay, so apparently this is a historical figure. Lucius Sergius Catiline, known in English as Catiline, was a Roman politician, soldier, best known for instigating the Catalanian conspiracy, a failed attempt to violently seize control of the Roman state in 63 BC. Okay, so therefore those who are Sallust puts it, hearken to their bellies, should be numbered among the animals and not among men. So he's kind of saying that, I think he's comparing to a person historically. And if you're saying this idea of hearken to your bellies, that you should be numbered among the animals and not among men. And certain men indeed should be numbered not even among animals, but among the dead. So you're saying there's a certain men that they're not even like an animal. They're like the dead. Okay. And the reason why he says this is because he really lives who is made use of by many. So if you're made use of by many, if you're useful to many people, then you really live. Okay. He really lives who makes use of himself. Okay. If you make use of yourself, right? Now, those men, however, who creep into a hole and grow torpid, okay, like animals is what the footnote says, are no better off in their homes than if they were in their tombs. Okay, and let's look up the word torpid here just to get some good definition here. Torpid means mentally or physically inactive, lethargic. So he's saying, if you creep into a hole, into your homes, okay, and you're inactive, you're no better off in your homes than if you're in your tomb. So basically, if you're doing nothing, if you're not expanding yourself, not growing, in this case, he would be talking about philosophy, right? Because that's what he always says. Right there on the marble lintel of the house, such a man you may inscribe his name. So he's saying on a tomb, you can inscribe his name, for he has died before he is dead. It's like he's dead in his house, right? So again, coming back to the side that most people have never really lived, right? So again, a short letter here, but I think valuable in understanding that the things that we think that we want are not actually the things that we actually need, right? These desires that we have for things that are beyond what is required of nature, those are the things that actually cause us the most misery in life, and that's the trouble with it. And so if we can let go of those things and realize that it doesn't take much, it really doesn't take much, and even though society and our parents and everyone they've ingrained in us. The reason why he's angry is because they've ingrained in us these ideas of these things that we need, that we need to do, that we instead of the simple life that we could be living. I'll see you next time.